aku nui, e aku rahi, tēnā koutou katoa. Welcome to the Ockham New Zealand Book Awards, a celebration of the very best of Aotearoa's writing and publishing. This is the 52nd year of the National Book Awards in New Zealand, recognising excellence in our writers and in our books, with a record number of submissions in all categories. Ko Stacey Morrison ahau. I'm Stacey Morrison and delighted to be your host this evening. Aha koa ngā āhuatanga o te wā, no matter that things are a little bit different. And this year, in testing times, we're live streaming this broadcast. As the famous whakatauki does say, the show must go on. First, let's welcome the Prime Minister of New Zealand, the Right Honourable Jacinda Ardern. E te Premier, tēnā koe.
Kia ora koutou katoa. Since 1968, the Ockham New Zealand Book Awards have celebrated our writers and highlighted our diverse literature. This year, the awards are taking place in a slightly different way, but I'm still really pleased to be able to connect with our literary community tonight. Right now, as we weather the impacts of COVID-19, we have an extra reason to celebrate and acknowledge the books in our lives. Literature has provided inspiration, learning and connection with friends and whānau in this difficult time, and I know how much people are looking forward to be able to visit their local bookstore again. And by the way, thank you to our publishers for making ebook editions available to those who have exhausted their own bookshelves. COVID-19 has had an impact right across the cultural sector, and I'm incredibly grateful to the many individuals and organisations who have come up with quick solutions, often through online medium like tonight's event. We know as a government we have a huge role to play in the recovery and revitalisation of the arts. We very deliberately made a decision to make sure the wage subsidy was available to the sector, and I know it's made a difference. As we speak, we're working on a much wider recovery package for the arts. The arts should be at the centre of our revitalisation plans. And in the meantime, it is encouraging that this year's awards have seen a significant increase in entries, a sign that our superb literary sector continues to grow, to thrive and tell our stories. So I want to say thank you to the supporters of the Ockham New Zealand Book Awards and to the judges, as I'm sure this must have been a difficult though enjoyable task. And my warmest congratulations to tonight's winners and all the finalists of these prestigious awards.
Tēnā koe te Premier. Thank you, Prime Minister. As you say, we have an extra reason right now to celebrate the books in our lives and our vibrant local literature. Art has helped sustain, educate, entertain, illuminate and inform us during lockdown. Books spark our imagination, they provoke and surprise us, they transport us to the past and the future, and into diverse places, peoples and experiences of the contemporary world. The books we celebrate tonight not only demonstrate excellence, they reveal the creative vitality of our culture and the inventive minds and imaginations that we have at work. Joining us now is Nicola Leggett, Chair of the New Zealand Book Awards Trust. Tēnā koe, Nicola. Thank you for joining us at social distance as well.
Tēnā koe, Stacey. Kia ora tātou. Ngā mihi nui ki a koutou. It takes a team to publish a book, and it takes a village to mount a book awards. At no time more so, as we've been finding out in the time of pandemic. In the first few weeks of lockdown, there were so many calamities in our books ecosystem. The New Zealand Book Awards Trust was determined that the Ockham New Zealand Book Awards would not be another victim of COVID-19, and so we decided very rapidly that we would go virtual with the awards this year. So thank you for joining us through your devices tonight, wherever in Aotearoa or the world you may be. Many thanks to Stacey and to the Prime Minister. And thank you to our finalist writers who have so willingly embraced the digital demands we've put on you. It's made a tense time a little more stressful, and we're so grateful to you. Not far from the time this event is live streaming, we'll be at level 2, thank goodness. Our bookstores will finally be open after 6 long weeks. And if there's one terrific thing you could all do, it would be to get down to your local bookshop and buy 1 or 2 or 3 of these finalist books, and our Best First Book winners too. It would be a gesture of such great support, and you won't be disappointed by a single one of them. They are all absolutely superb. Thank you for doing that. And now may I thank the wonderful, committed individuals and organisations who have made these awards possible. Ockham, our cornerstone partner, whose great generosity sustains these awards. Jann Medlicott, through the Acorn Foundation, the amazing funder of our generous fiction prize. Creative New Zealand, loyal supporter for several decades. Peter and Mary Biggs, funders of the Poetry Prize, and MitoQ, the funder of all 4 of the Best First Book Awards. Our thanks to you all are heartfelt. Sincere thanks also to the Auckland Writers Festival team. We so value our partnership with you. Thank you to our heroic 13 judges whose task was daunting. Thank you to the creative, resourceful publishers who backed their authors to bring these books to fruition. But especially, thank you to our Best First Book winners and our 16 finalists. You are all outstanding. You have enriched our culture. We admire and respect your work. Congratulations. Thank you. Kia ora.
Kia ora, Nicola, and thanks again for being here. And now we cross to co-founder of Ockham Residential, Mark Todd.
Hi, Mark Todd here, Ockham Residential, and welcome to the 5th edition of the Ockham New Zealand Book Awards. We're so proud to be continuing our sponsorship and support of New Zealand's writers and thinkers in these challenging times. It's so important to help us work out who we are and who we want to be. And while I've got the mic, I just wanted to make a slightly ironic pitch as a businessman, that together we could better include our artists, writers and thinkers in the public discourse. You know, the world's changing, and this COVID crisis has forced us to re-look at what's fair and what our values are. And I think we could do well by making sure we include everyone's opinion, not just business, in how we want to live and who we are. So enjoy the awards, remember to keep thinking, and most importantly, keep reading. Good night.
Kia ora, Mark, and thanks for your vital support of writers and books, as well as your call to action for all of us to keep thinking and keep reading. Earlier this evening, we announced the 4 winners of our MitoQ Best First Book Awards. And if you haven't had a chance to watch that ceremony yet and hear from those winners, you can do that by going to the Ockham New Zealand Book Awards YouTube channel. Now we move to the first of our 4 categories in the 2020 Ockham New Zealand Book Awards. This is for general non-fiction, given each year to a book that offers groundbreaking insights into the history, lives, culture and society of New Zealand. This year's winner will receive a prize of $10,000. Our judges for this category were Hocken librarian Sharon Dell, bookseller and artist Stella Chrysostomou, and journalist and presenter Guyan Espiner. Let's hear from them now.
Kia ora, I'm Sharon Dell. Guyan, Stella and I brought different perspectives to assessing our 51 books, but together we were blown away by beautiful writing and compelling, timely content. We especially appreciate the creative writing that's broadening the non-fiction genre, the interesting use of archives and primary resources, and the many examples of wonderful book production and design. These are books whose impact will be felt well beyond this year.
Tēnei ka mihi ki ngā kaiwhakawā. Thank you so much to all of our judges for all of your hard work. The finalists for the 2020 award for general non-fiction are Dead People I've Known by Shane Carter, published by Victoria University Press, an illuminating memoir about a boy who didn't fit in and was saved by music. Shirley Smith, An Examined Life by Sarah Gaetanos, published by Victoria University Press, the portrait of a frank, principled woman who swam against the current of her time, working for human rights and social causes. Wild Honey, Reading New Zealand Women's Poetry by Paula Green, published by Massey University Press. A reframing of our poetic tradition to address an absence of women in the canon, from our earliest authors to contemporary songwriters. Towards the Mountain by Sarah Miles, published by Allen and Unwin, a moving exploration of 40 years of silence and the legacy of grief for one family after the Erebus disaster. And the winner of the General Non-Fiction Award for 2020 is Dead People I Have Known by Shane Carter, published by Victoria University Press. The judges called Shane Carter's Dead People I Have Known a fascinating look at what it means and feels like to be a creative obsessive, pushing towards perfection despite and because of addiction, oblivion and isolation. It is rock star writing, entertaining, revealing and incredibly heartfelt. Ko koe kai runga, Shane. Congratulations. And we plan to be crossing live to Shane in Dunedin for a winner's speech at the end of these announcements, so please stay tuned for that. Our next announcement is the Mary and Peter Biggs Award for Poetry. Mary and Peter joined our whānau of sponsors last year as a demonstration of their commitment to our diverse community of poets in Aotearoa, New Zealand. This year's winner will receive a prize of $10,000. Our judges for this category were publisher and poet Kiri Piahana Wong, bookseller Philippa Duffy, and a former finalist in these awards, Tim Upperton.
Kia ora, I'm Kiri Piahana Wong. It was an honour to read the 35 books entered in this year's poetry category. Philippa, Tim and I were impressed with the high standard of entrance. In 2019, many of our best-loved poets released collections, and an equally large number of impressive new writers launched their first books. It's wonderful to see that New Zealand poetry is alive with innovation, skill and true craftsmanship.
Tēnā koutou e ngā kaiwhakawā. Thank you very much to our judges, and in case your mind is ticking away, that was actually shot in January during the judging process, so well before lockdown. Now the finalists for the 2020 Mary and Peter Biggs Award for Poetry are Moth Hour by Anne Kennedy, published by Auckland University Press. Variations on a theme that sets personal loss against 70s era of music, politics and the Vietnam War. How to Live by Helen Rickaby, published by Auckland University Press, an ambitious manifesto that explores women's writing throughout history. Lay Studies by Stephen Toussaint, published by Victoria University Press, a crash course in philosophy and an interrogation of goodness, truth and religious faith. How I Get Ready by Ashley Young, published by Victoria University Press, a collection bristling with humour and curiosity, navigating an out-of-kilter world. And the winner of the Mary and Peter Biggs Award for Poetry in 2020 is How to Live by Helen Rickaby, published by Auckland University Press. The judges said, Helen Rickaby's How to Live names, excavates and exhumes silenced women. It demands much of us to move, to discover, to challenge, to chastise, to entertain, to teach, to dare and to awaken. Tēnā rawa tukwe. Congratulations, Helen, and we'll be hearing a winner's speech live from Helen at the end of these awards announcements, so please stay tuned. Next is the award for Illustrated Nonfiction, a category that recognises works of excellence in writing, illustration and design, often the result of many years of work by writers, artists, photographers and editors. This year's winner will receive a prize of $10,000. Our judges for this category were publisher Odessa Owens, editor and critic Lana Lopesi and writer and arts advisor Hamish Coney.
Kia ora, I'm Odessa Owens. It was not an easy feat for Lana, Hamish and me to judge this year's Illustrated Nonfiction category. We received 40 books, dedicated to both familiar and unexpected ideas, spanning art, culture and history. Illustrated nonfiction publishing contributes to and expands the cultural landscape of Aotearoa. Our shortlist showcases just how good these books can be when the concept, writing, design and production are all of the highest quality.
Kia ora koutou, and thank you again to all of our judges. The finalists for the 2020 Award for Illustrated Nonfiction are Crafting Aotearoa, a Cultural History of Making in New Zealand and the Wider Moana Oceania by Carl Chittim, Kolokesa Umahina Tuai and Damien Skinner, published by Te Papa Press. Presenting Māori, Pākehā and Moana Oceania knowledge and practice, covering both traditional and contemporary handmade objects. Protest Tau Tohe Tohe, Objects of Resistance, Persistence and Defiance by Stephanie Gibson, Matariki Williams and Puawai Cairns, published by Te Papa Press. A retelling of our national history from first contact to the present day and from an alternative perspective, one of dissent. We Are Here by Chris McDowell and Tim Denis, published by Massey University Press. A unique visual representation of Aotearoa, New Zealand, chronicling our history and capturing the present. Macan Country by Justin Patton, published by Penguin Random House and Auckland Art Gallery Toyo Tāmaki. A thematic road trip around this most iconic artist on the 100th anniversary of his birth. And the winner of the award for Illustrated Nonfiction in 2020 is Protest Tau Tohe Tohe by Stephanie Gibson, Matariki Williams and Puawai Cairns, published by Te Papa Press. The judges said Protest Tau Tohe Tohe tackles a vast, significant topic worthy of these urgent times, covering the breadth of our history and the themes that define us as a nation, with engaging essays and images from our shared past of resistance, dissent and activism. Tēnā koutou katoa, and congratulations to the three authors, Stephanie, Matariki and Puawai. And remember, we'll be hearing our winner speeches live at the end of these award announcements. Our final category is the Jann Medlicott Acorn Prize for Fiction. Earlier this year, Jann was revealed as the generous funder of our Fiction Prize. Thanks to Jann, the prize money for this award increases each year to match inflation. Her outstanding support means that this year's winner will receive a phenomenal $55,000. Our judges for this category were writer and editor Mark Broach, bookseller Chris Baskett, and writer and artist Nick Lowe. For the final round of judging, they were joined by international judge, writer Tara June Winch.
Kia ora, I'm Mark Broach. Nick, Chris and I believe 2019 was a cheeringly excellent year for New Zealand fiction. The range of stories was diverse across genre, theme, time and place, and narrative style, delving deeply and sometimes uncomfortably into Aotearoa's past, many presents and possible futures. Commonalities: love, humour, brutality, forgiveness, te ao Māori, a dollop of sex, and all through inquiry into and celebration of life.
Tēnei ka mihi ki ngā kai whakawā. Thank you so much to all of our judges. The finalists for the Jann Medlicott Acorn Prize for Fiction are Aue by Becky Manawatu, published by Mākoro Press. The story of the orphaned Arama, who is deposited in rural Kaikoura with relatives, and his brother Taukiri, a young man fending for himself in the big smoke. Pearly Gates by Owen Marshall, published by Vintage Penguin Random House. A love letter to small town New Zealand through the lens of the second-time mayor of a provincial South Island town. A Mistake by Carl Schucker, published by Victoria University Press, a searing dissection of truth and fallibility when an operation in a Wellington hospital goes wrong. Halibut on the Moon by David Vann, published by Text. A dark and compelling journey with manic depressive Jim, travelling from Alaska to California to see his estranged family. And the winner of the Jann Medlicott Acorn Prize for Fiction is Aue by Becky Manawatu, published by Mākoro Press. The category judges said there is violence and sadness and rawness in this book, but buoyant humour too. With its uniquely New Zealand voice, its sparing and often beautiful language, the novel weaves the strands of its tale into an emotionally enveloping korowai. Ngā mihi nui ki a koe, Becky. Congratulations, and we'll be hearing from Becky along with all the other winners live in just a few moments. And congratulations to all our finalists in the Ockham New Zealand Book Awards tonight, with thanks from the reading public for your words, your pictures, your invention and your vision. We join with you to celebrate writing and publishing here in Aotearoa, New Zealand, both our rich literary whakapapa and our contemporary achievements. And now, let's hear from our winning writers.
Hi everybody. Look, I'm really stoked to win this award, and if I realised that was going to happen, I would have changed out of my cardigan. And the other writers, the other shortlisted writers, the long-listed writers, anyone who did a book actually, because if there's one thing I learned in this experience is that writing's pretty hard, and it takes a lot of application, and with the 10% royalty rate, I know that people aren't doing it for the money. And so yes, respect to the other writers. And I don't really have a speech beyond the people that I thanked for the best first book thing. Really chuffed. I've got my mum and dad here. These people here featured heavily in my book. So I'll dedicate this to them, and thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you to the Awards Trust and to the sponsors, especially Mary and Peter Biggs, who sponsor this award and other poetry awards. Thank you so much for caring about poetry. I also want to acknowledge my fellow finalists, and Ashley and Steve, who are all lovely people as well as fine poets. And I'm really sorry not to hang out with you tonight. Thank you so much.
E oku rangatira, ngā tōhunga kai tuhi tuhi o te motu, ka nui te mihi atu kia koutou mō tēnei tohu tino whakahirahira. Hei mihi atu mātou ko Matariki me Stephanie ki ngā tai kaitau tohe tohe, mō koutou mahi, mō koutou taonga, mō koutou kōrero kia mātou. Kia ora no koutou. Thank you for this great honour that I accept also on behalf of my fellow co-authors Stephanie Gibson and Matariki Williams. We are so deeply grateful to have been considered among some of our writing heroes, and especially want to acknowledge the wonderful books that were in this category, Crafting Aotearoa, We Are Here, and McCann Country. Our amazing publishing house, Te Papa Press, which continues to send out astonishing books into the world. We can't begin to describe how grateful we were for your generous support and endless patience. Nicola Leggett, Claire Gibb, and Estelle Best. There was a lengthy gestation for this book, and they were unstinting in helping with time and gave amazing creative direction so our nerdy little team of curators could turn our dream protest exhibition into a book. Thank you also to Gideon Keith, our designer from Strategic Creative, and the photography team at Te Papa, Martin Hull, Jeremy Glyde, and Mike O'Neill, and to all the teams at Te Papa who supported this project, ka nui te aroha kia koutou. We also want to give a very special thanks to Kerry Taylor of Mass University, who supported this project from the beginning and gave us our forward, as well as helped shape the book when we started out. Stephanie, Matariki and I also wanted to acknowledge the importance of the book, or the work of publishers like Te Papa Press, and all those here who were here tonight, who understand that publishing itself can be a critical form of activism. Getting untold stories out into the public is hard, and we want to thank you for being an industry that helps those stories get told. And that acknowledgement and thanks is also extended to the archives, the museums, the families, the artists, the writers, the poets, the repositories of those stories in taonga who helped us and trusted us with these stories. We're so very grateful to you all. Finally, we want to mihi and send our aroha to those activists in the community. We're found in boardrooms, lecture theatres, on the street, on the airwaves, in galleries, on the internet, on marae. People who dream of a fairer world and who have made the objects that we were able to talk about. We wanted to create a book that treated protest material as taonga, and regret that we couldn't include all the objects that we know are out there. But we will continue to search for them and support the importance of protest to our society. Tēnā koutou katoa.
It's me. Tēnā tātou no nai tahua hau ko Biki tōku ingoa. Ia mihi ka tātou katoa. I got a bit of whānau here with us. I'd like to start by thanking the people here in my whare with me, my beautiful children, Sienna and Maddox, and my husband Tim, colour there. And I could not have written the book without your support. To my dad, we live with my dad. A big thank you to you also for your support. I am for being my dad. My precious mum, who's not here with us. You've done so much for me. My grandparents, my tipuna, alive and vast, my aunties, uncles, cousins, and incredible friends, my brother, Cody, my sisters, Timmy and Nicole, nieces and nephew, you all mean so much to me. Aue found its time at MitoQ Press with editor Mary McCallum and her son, Paul Stewart. What a team you are, and thank you for your dedication and hard work. Now I'm going to start crying. Aue found its home between two covers with beautiful artwork by Penny Howard. Aue found a home in Renee's heart. She cared enough for the bones of the story to champion it. Aue found a home in many of its readers' hearts, and I am grateful for the aroha and the true sense of the word. The aroha that a story has been read with and given. I have found myself back home in Waimangaroa on Te Tai Potini, where I often feel treasured by my community, and I'm really grateful for them. I have immense gratitude to Jann Medlicott for this generous prize. Okay, I have only 90 seconds, but
Get together, woman.
I can't put into words what it will do for my whānau, but you know, a pretty mean feed is on the cards. Thank you for all you do for New Zealand literature. Thank you to Ockham Residential for their work in support of New Zealand literature and having these awards. Thank you to all the people behind the scenes. Stacey Morrison for your beautiful mahi tonight and her husband's work as reo advocates. This is for my cousin Glenbow. Kia mau te tōkanga nui e noho. I hope people are safe and warm and even treasured in your homes tonight. Nō reira, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā tātou katoa.
It's wonderful to hear from them all, and congratulations to our winning writers and books and the imagination, hard work and dedication shown by all our writers and their publishers. Booksellers are open again for orders and deliveries, so you can click on the link in the description here or contact your own local shops. And remember, you can watch the Best First Books announcements live streamed earlier tonight on the Ockham New Zealand Book Awards channel on YouTube, via our Facebook page or through other social media. Mauri ora kia tātou, kia haumaru te noho.